What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Bucks on Deck podcast episode. My name is Anthony Murphy. With me again, of course, my co-host back from a fun weekend. Hopefully, nice little weekend off of everything, Mr.
They
Nola.
should be able to tell by my voice today.
How's it going, man? How's your weekend?
That was pretty good, there was a pretty amazing cover band called Dirtbags at one of the places. I mean, you can't not sing to Break Stuff, Limp Bizkit. So
I mean, man's got a point there. Man has got a point. So busy weekend. Busy week. Going to get into some minor league stuff. We're actually going to talk a little bit about the Pirates. Kind of prospect related. Another thing that I kind of came up in Ben Cherington's show, Ben Cherington's radio show or whatever like that. That I thought was a little bit on the funny side, at least for me, hearing him say that. But first, we're going to start with kind of a prospect thing. He's still technically a prospect, but Jared Jones pitched Monday night when we're recording. Just got to watch that. Nola, it's pretty good, isn't he?
yeah, he's pretty awesome. The man, the myth, the legend. And even in certain spots where, I mean, you're thinking it might break a little bit. There was a couple times there, especially in the sixth inning. I was like, I don't know if he's going to get through it, and he stuck it out.
I love that they stuck with him there and just let him try to fix. It's like, bases loaded. You did this. We're going to give you this one last batter to try to let you get out of this, and he did. He did, but
He did.
I mean, like you said, I keep waiting for. Not that I'm like this. Maybe saying I keep waiting. Saying it that way is going to make it seem like I'm rooting against him. I'm not. I mean, I love Jared Jones. He's an amazing pitcher, but like I keep waiting for some of the stuff that we saw in the minor leagues to kind of pop up here and there, and it just hasn't. He's taken his game to like a whole new level that I don't think. I know that I haven't. I don't think I've ever seen a stretch of him like this in the minors that he's doing at the majors right now.
No, not at all. I mean, we always talk about him. It was from the get go, especially with the fastball and slider, was always okay. The stuff is there. The stuff is definitely there. It's just sequencing, tunneling, and command of it was always his biggest issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like he would have a couple games to where he would just like dominate in the minors, and then he'd have a few where he'd walk 3 or 4 guys and can't find the strike zone, leaves too much stuff over the middle of the plate, fall behind on hitters, and like even command and control aside, just like the stuff itself feels like it's taken like another tick forward. And we've noticed that some with like the TJ stats and everything like that. Like, like the specs on the fastball and stuff, like they were good. Like you could see why he had success and all that. But like this year, like he's just, even with the fastball, he's just mowing people down. He had almost a 50% whiff rate just Monday night on its own. Had 13 whiffs with the fastball, another 11 with the slider. It's just, and to do this, like every question that I feel like I had about him, and I think like I'll be honest with it, I think I was fairly critical of him over the offseason, just because like he had that really good stretch at the end of the year, but like I kind of kept pointing back to the, he's being too reliant on the fastball slider. That's not going to work in the majors. That can't work in the people like to point to Spencer Strider, but he's more of like an outlier in that kind of situation and stuff like that. And then even then he added like the curveball this year before he got hurt. So it's just incredible to see just like him answer every single question that every single evaluator's had on him, and do so.
Yeah, and a lot of times too, what would happen with him in the majors, and we've seen with some of the other prospects too, like Mike Burrows, even before he went down with injury, and like how we would talk about Dotel or Urkelani up until them doing so well, at least on the early goings this year. But to be the type of starts where you'd get 3 innings of a complete shutdown starter, can't be touched, and then 4th inning or 5th inning it would just crumble.
Mm-hmm.
Like velo would drop, command would completely dissipate, and they start losing. That's kind of the route it was going in the 6th, with losing the zone and walking a couple batters, but he put his foot down and got through it.
Yeah, and you spoke to that. You said about like the stuff playing deeper in the games. I remember when I got to see him in Richmond, like he was hitting 98, 99 the first couple innings, and then by the time like the 6th, 7th rolled around, he was down in like 94, 95. I don't think he got like a strikeout like the last 2 or 3 innings that he pitched and all that. Like just everything kind of became a lot more hittable at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's just, I know I've probably said it a couple times. It's just incredible to see the kind of strides he's made and to do it at the level that he's doing it at.
Yeah, and then even I'm currently reading this Sarah Lang's tweet about how Jared Jones 98 swings and misses this season are tied for 8th most by a pitcher in his first 5 starts of the season in the pitch tracking era.
Mm-hmm.
Who's one of these? Number 1, DeGrom 118, Bieber 111, Bieber 107, Strider 105, McClanahan 100, Scherzer 100, Sale 99, and then tied with Gosman 22. But also his 98 swings and misses are the most by a pitcher in his first 5 career starts in the pitch tracking era. The prior record was Tanaka 84.
Nice. I saw another one where like Strasburg was. They had like he like the Strasburg thing, and we like to make that joke. Every prospect's the best prospect since Strasburg.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like the Pirates already had that on the major league roster, and again, so yeah. But yeah, Jared Jones, very good, and all of a sudden now maybe that whole PPI pick might not be too far out of the question at this point.
Yeah, and I actually got a parlay bet with him in it early in the season, so let's go.
Yeah, well, I'm sure those odds are starting to look less enticing to put some money down.
Yeah, I think I got him when he was still like plus 1,800. So
that's good right there. Okay, so gonna be fun. It's fun to watch. What is it like? The cutoff is about like 50 innings or something like that for sure to have them off all like prospect lists pretty much.
Yeah, 50. 50. It's 50 innings. So once they hit 50.1 is when they gone.
So not too much longer on them. So, but
yeah, I didn't have the time today to do my full update. So Tuesday at some point, I'll do it.
Okay, all right,
maybe.
So, sticking with the Pirates here, we're gonna get on to our next topic on that. During Ben Cherington's radio show or whatever, it's like that, he made a comment about the defense maybe not playing to what they expected, and not to maybe sound critical again in the second straight thing, but I had a little chuckle at that because we talked about that a lot during spring and during the offseason as they're kind of putting the team together. And he's saying that this is not they're not playing quite to expected, but I think this is pretty much where we expected them to be, more or less, right? I mean, obviously, I don't think neither of us would have put like Brian Hayes at a -1 outs above average right now, but I think just about everyone else is probably where you would expect them to be.
Mostly, yeah. I didn't expect it to be this bad. I thought it'd be kind of league average at worst, especially with Hayes, Triolo, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I figured they would kind of help carry the weight, as well as Taylor playing center, pushing Swinski to right field was like, okay. Or left field, yeah.
Left field.
I thought that would help him, yeah. Which Reynolds been splitting his time. I thought them moving to the corners would help their defense, but yeah, I guess part of that too depends on. I know there's a like way they like a multiplier that kind of knocks out fitters sometimes, but yeah, it's been a trip.
So
It's been a trip.
going off of outs above average. I know you were pulling up like Fangraphs and stuff like that, but just going off outs above average on Baseball Savant. Only the Marlins have a worse team defense than the Pirates. The Pirates have a -9 outs above average. The Marlins have a -16. So they're like on a different level, I guess. Still, the infield only has a -1. It's really the outfield that's causing the issues with it. Like you're talking about, kind of like the hope was that Sawinski moving to a corner would kind of help him a little bit. It hasn't. Well, I pulled up the number. I don't think they've up. I pulled this up right after the Pirates game, so I doubt they're updated. If like a game will make that much of a change on it, but Jack Sawinski has a -3. Brian Reynolds has so Sawinski, Reynolds, and Edward Olivares all have a -3 outs above average. If you want to get technical, I mean, Olivares was. I think this whole conversation when this kind of started with when they brought in Olivares, because he had a -7 outs above average. So, and then that just kind of like snowballed us talking about just like how the entire team was kind of constructed and stuff like that. Granted, that was before they brought in Taylor. So, we did give him like props for that, because we did think that, I think you and I were kind of like at the forefront as far as like long-term, we didn't really like Sawinski in center.
Right.
Whereas a lot more people were getting a lot more comfortable with it. And like, he did get better last year with it. So.
But him getting better was still like bottom third of the league.
Yeah. So.
I mean, hey, credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
Rowdy Tellez currently has a +3 DRS and only a 0 OAA. So.
Yep. He has a better outs above average than can Brian Hayes. Now, I'm willing to bet things aren't going to end that way.
Right.
I think that would be pretty safe money. But yes, if we're looking at currently right now, we can actually say there's one aspect of the game where Rowdy Tellez hasn't been an issue.
Right. Yeah. And
we start talking offensively, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But defensively, he's holding his own.
Yeah, currently Savant only has 2 players with a positive run value. Taylor at a positive +2 and Triolo +1.
Yep.
It's ugly right now.
Yeah. It's
across the board.
Helping. I heard I saw some stuff on Twitter too. They were talking about like how early in the season they got away with some stuff, and that helped them get some wins. So maybe that would help them down the road. And I feel like over a 162 game schedule, when it's about who can do like the little things right for the longer period of time.
Yeah.
And if you're having like defensive metrics like this, you're not doing the little things right. And so like 6-game losing streaks like this probably aren't as surprising as you would think.
Yeah. So. They made some slick plays today, so hopefully it continues.
Yeah. Sawinski had that like really nice diving catch. Cruz made a nice little play. I still think sometimes he's trying to load up for like the big throw and stuff like that. And he ends up needing to have that 100-mile-an-hour throw to get the runner, because he's taking like an extra step or two.
Yeah.
I guess he's another one too. Like, he's at a -2 outs above average. I don't know how he is on like Fangraphs right now, but I also looked it up since 2022 when he had his rookie season. There's only 3 shortstops with a worse outs above average, a collective outs above average than Oneil Cruz. And one of them, I don't even think is playing shortstop anymore.
Yeah, he's currently a -3 DRS.
Yeah. So, I mean, he got 3 hits tonight, so
Pirates won.
Pirates won. Let's not do too much complaining after a win, but I just found that funny that obviously Cherington's not going to come out and be like, oh yeah, we really tanked on the defense to focus on the offense kind of thing. But specifically saying that the defense hasn't played to what they expected, I thought gave me a little chuckle, just because like that's one of the things that we specifically talked about when it comes to how they constructed the roster, that it wasn't really very defensive friendly. And it was weird because they added so many pitchers that were reliant
Something
on
push to contact. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, that's enough major league stuff. I get all worked up and depressed talking about major league stuff. Let's get to some minor league stuff. I know you didn't have a chance to watch too much with it.
Not too much.
So I'm gonna throw out some guys and talk about what I saw, and you can kind of chip in and anything like that. But fun fact, I mentioned this before we started. The Pirates had the player with the worst WRC in all of minor league baseball among qualified hitters.
You said we were done with the negative.
Okay, but I'm going to get into a positive with this.
Okay.
So Javi Rivas is a guy that I know we've talked about on the site before. I know someone especially like Wilbur's talked about. Very, very good defensively. Pirates love their tall shortstops like this, but this guy can handle shortstop. Like his range, his arm, all that stuff. He's one of the best defenders that the Pirates have in the system right there. And he hits the ball pretty hard. Like I don't have like the updated exit velocity numbers right now, but I would he's definitely taken a step forward. His issue is quality of contact and beating the ball into the ground. Like his average launch angle last time I checked was like a negative like 10 or 12 or something like that. Like it was bad. So not a good start to the season. He was batting like 050 going into the Sunday game. 3 extra base hits, 2 doubles and a home run. Came up big at the end of the game and stuff like that. I would love to see like the Pirates would really I would love to see any hitter just to take some sort of step forward. And I think on a tools side, he's probably one of the more fun, exciting guys to look at in the lower levels.
Mm-hmm. One of those toolsy guys that if he puts it together, could be fun, but he needs to hit the ball more.
One of the guys that Rosati hates. I feel like every time that we started talking about that, like I could feel his eyes roll when I start talking about like toolsy toolsy if he puts it together kind of kids, which is fair.
Yeah, because we're still waiting for all the other toolsy kids if they put it together.
I mentioned in their Discord today about like our little back and forth on Siani and Hudson Head.
I'm currently winning this year.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's not even close. Like Sammy Siani's like he's like the 4th or 5th best WRC in the system right now. So.
And I think Hudson Head's batting like 083 with a 800 OPS because all he's hit is like 4 home runs.
He has 3 hits and 3 home runs. So.
Hell yeah.
If you're a batting average of balls in play guy, do not look up his number. But like Rivas is a fun guy to kind of keep an eye on it. Like, is he like a long-term major league prospect? I mean, who really is in the Pirate system in the lower levels at this point? Like, because I mean, the
question marks across the board.
Yeah. But like he's a fun guy to watch just because of the defense and there's a little power in the bat, and he's still relatively young. I think he's like 20, 21 years old. So, or maybe he turns 21 this year. Another guy, and I talked about it before because like, a lot of people started talking about him. And the first thing that everyone always brings up with Jack Brannigan is the power. They like to talk about like the 19 home runs and this and that. And like keep mentioning, it's like, well, that's probably like his third or fourth best tool that he has on there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think maybe it's as loud as the 19 home runs would have anticipated. Like he's like definitely a speed guy. He even told me that he's more like a speed type of player anyways. Like it's speed's more part of his game than the power.
That double plus speed.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. You like mentioned like Baseball America like had that, and like you told me, and but I mean it's legit. Like I've seen him in person. Like I don't have any like run times on him, but the guy could move, and obviously the glove is the big carrier with him. This year they have him batting it out of the leadoff spot, which I actually really like. And the swing and miss is really down. I don't know if it's updated or not, but going into like the Sunday game, he was tied for like the lowest swing and strike rate in the system. Which
I'm looking at it now, and I mean his K percentage is only 14%, and his walk percentage is 20%. So
yeah, walking more than he strike out. Mm-hmm.
He's one of the few guys right now that we can say didn't go the wrong way so far.
Yeah, and that's somewhat surprising because like if you remember back to the Arizona Fall, even there's a lot of swing and miss when he was in Greensboro. I think he had like a 32 strikeout rate in Greensboro last year. He went to the Fall League, and I think his strikeout rate was like in the close to 40, if not in the 40s.
Yeah.
And spring training rolls around. He was with the major league camp. There's a lot of swing and miss early too. Like he wasn't hitting very good. He started hitting the ball a little bit towards the end of spring.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like we're going into the season like, well, nothing's really changed. And look, now he's back in Greensboro. This kind of sucks. Another guy that's just going to get stuck. But like he's starting to kind of feel and like he's morphing into like someone that I feel like can be like a leadoff hitter, like one of your like old school leadoff hitter kind of guys. And then like if some of that power starts coming back too, because I think he only has like 2 extra base hits right now.
Like
one home run and 1 double or something like that.
Yeah. I just had it up like his ISO was only 132 was it?
Yeah. So
132 down from 306 last year in Greensboro.
So so right now it looks like he's sacrificing a little bit of power to make sure he's making the contact. As he kind of adjusts and gets everything down and all that stuff, I'm sure we'll start seeing the power numbers come back. I don't think he's like a guy like Tris Gonzalez moving up to like Altoona. We'll never see power from him again, kind of thing, or from Chang. I don't know. I've always been a Brannigan guy, and I know it's kind of unfortunate he started in Greensboro again.
Someone to be excited about.
Yeah. It's an encouraging start for where there hasn't been a lot of encouraging starts. So
I'm updating some numbers real quick.
Updating numbers. I know you didn't get a chance to watch too much, but is there anything that kind of stood out as you're catching back up from the weekend?
Well, what I went ahead and did is, especially considering the slide the Pirates went on, I thought it'd be interesting to look up the Pirates and their affiliates' OPS over the last 7 days and their ERA over the last 7 days and match it up against like league average. So, what do you want to start with, hitting or pitching?
I've been talking about hitting all day. Let's just stick with that. Let's hear the hitting.
All right. So we'll start with the Pirates. I just updated with today's game. So their team OPS is 549 over the last 7 days. League average is 698. The Indies last 7 days is 760 OPS, 12th out of 20. League average 770, so slightly below league average. The Curve, 6 out of 12, 661 OPS. League average 696, so slightly below average. The Hoppers, 754 OPS, third out of 12. League average OPS 669, which is actually the lowest of all four or all five, which was kind of
That is,
surprising.
yeah. So much for the whole Greensboro thing,
Right.
or South Atlantic thing.
Yeah. And then the Marauders, 8th out of 10th, 620 OPS, league average 670, which watching them, it kind of makes sense. So they're 3-12 now.
Yeah, 3-12. Like you said, and they tripled their win total.
They went from 1 to 3.
Yeah, it's been rough down in Bradenton. The Greensboro thing doesn't really surprise me because like this week felt like a lot of the bats really started to get going. McAdoo hit his first home run. Nolasco hit his first home run.
Blanchard hit a home run.
Yeah. He hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing nearly as much as I thought he'd be playing down there.
Yeah, me too. But I think when I updated our little fantasy league numbers, I'm like, I finally got positive numbers out of him.
I'm terrified to look at mine. Although I feel like Matt Gorski had a pretty good week too, so I think he probably. But like I know
won't
Chase
talk
Bowman's
about
killing me.
Yeah, we won't talk about Mitch Jebb.
Yeah, that's rough. Mitch Jebb is not one of the guys in Greensboro that hit a home run last week.
No, he's got me a whole 0 points so far this year.
I kind of feel like he may get like an inside of the park home run, but is he going to go like his whole professional career and not hit a home run?
It's possible, man. It's possible. Which I was actually kind of thinking about, and Corey might hate me for this, but just when I was looking at the lineups today, seeing South Freelick, I was like, man, South Freelick in the majors is Mitch Jebb right now.
Oh, yeah. He's the only thing that could save you is if I go on a Garrett Forster rank right now.
I said because he had something like a 280, 290 batting average and like a 620 OPS. Like, I'm like, wait, Mitch Jebb? Oh, never mind. Yeah. So then we'll go into the pitching, which is a little better, at least. There's a handful that are at least better than league average. Updated with today. The Pirates are 27th out of 30 with a 5.02 ERA. League average is 4.0. I think before I updated, it was a 5.65 over the last 7 days. Indy is 3rd out of 20 with a 3.33 ERA. League average is 5.02. So pitcher's been getting lit up in AAA, at least, the International League. Curve are 12th out of 12, 6.35 ERA. League average 4.10.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Bowie Bay Sox did a number on their staff.
Oh, yeah. That lineup is just
loaded. Greensboro was 2nd out of 12 with a 3.33 ERA. League average ERA, again the lowest, 3.95 ERA. And then the Marauders, at least the pitching did a little better, which is probably why they tripled their win total. With a 4th out of 10, 3.45 ERA. Oh, man. Bad timing.
Yeah, that Bradenton pitching staff, that Bradenton rotation is like they're just intriguing. They just intrigue me. Between Kennedy was able to get 10 whiffs with the fastball that barely averages 90 miles an hour. So like Carlson Reed has an amazing slider, probably the best slider in the system, probably close to the best slider in the system among prospects.
Would have finished that real quick. It was the Marauders, 4th out of 10, 3.45 ERA, league average 4.15.
I mean, that makes sense with them. Because like the rotation's intriguing, and then they have a bunch of like college players in the bullpen that have like they've started to dominate now recently. So I can see Bradenton's pitching staff, if it stays similar to that this year, doing fairly well, like number wise. Are there going to be a lot of like legit major league prospects coming out of there? Probably not, but they'll probably do fairly well, like statistically. I feel like.
Yeah, there's probably a handful of guys if they, kind of bring things together, like Christian Curtis, especially.
He made 2 bad pitches on Sunday, and he paid for it on both of them. Which that's the reality of pro ball, but also it's a little disappointing because like he locates 2 pitches a little bit better, and he probably throws like 4 shutout innings there. And then we're having like a whole different conversation about him this week too. So, but
You just gotta limit the mistake pitches.
he's getting there. He's getting there because his first start was, it's, and it kind of seems like he's. I know he had a lot of injuries and stuff like that. He's starting to tire pretty quickly once he gets to like the 3rd or 4th inning. So I don't know. I think a lot of people probably expect him to be a reliever anyways, but I don't know. We'll see. He's another one of those guys that is intriguing to like people like us, and maybe less intriguing to others.
Time will tell, and that's why it just as like a random, because going back to like that little fantasy league, partially why Dominic Parachi, I was actually surprised at some of the numbers he's had, and they've been letting him go three plus innings in his 3. I think he has 10.1 innings in his 3 appearances.
I'm surprised they didn't stick him in the rotation. I guess there's not really any space with that, but I would much rather see like someone like Parachi get starts just to eat innings over someone like JP Massey, who we kind of like know what JP Massey is at this point, kind of thing. I mean, Greensboro had to use Escoto as a pitcher in a 1-run ball game because they had to go to the bullpen so early that they were like out of pitchers to use that they can use. So they were trailing by 1 going into the 9th inning, and they brought Escoto in to pitch, and he gave up.
He's probably got a bit of a cannon on him now.
Yeah. At first, I had to stop and think. I'm like, is this a thing? And then the way he was throwing, it was clearly not a thing because it was just one of those. I'm just trying to get it over the plate kind of things. So they had him playing first the other day.
Yeah. So you never know. Maybe they'll switch it up.
So, yeah. But I mean, interesting week in the minors. Not a lot of wins, but I mean, so it was going to be a hard week for Altoona, anyways. Bowie's a really good team.
Bowie boom.
Bradenton's still trying to figure things out and stuff like that. But enough with last week. Let's get into this week. If you follow the site, you know that Nola does a weekly preview every Tuesday. He kind of goes through each system to highlight any notable prospects and such that the Pirate system will be matched up against. So what you got for us this week?
Well, this week, let's see. We're starting off with Indy, who went 5-1 last week. They're facing the Storm Chasers, Royals affiliate. Not much to speak on in terms of prospects. Their top prospect currently is Tyler Gentry, 9th overall, out of their top 30 on Pipeline. Nick Prado is currently in Omaha because he's been struggling in the majors. So it's a name people might know, who was a former top 100 guy. But also Colin Selby will be in Omaha. Whoa, with Omaha. Down to the Curve, who are 5-9 after a 1-5 week, are facing the Akron Rubber Ducks, who have the best prospect a Pirates affiliate will face this week in Chase DeLauder, their former first-round pick out of JMU. Yeah, consensus top 100 prospect. There's Khalil Watson, who I'm sure people know. He's ranked 14th overall currently with the Guardians, but neither of them are off to neither of them are off to a very good start this year. Delauder only has a 604 OPS, Watson 644. Usually known for the pitching, there's only one top 30 ranked prospect on the Rubber Ducks, but the Grasshoppers, as usual, had a above 500 week, 3-2. They're facing Greenville, the Greenville Drive, who, again, don't have much in terms of prospects. I mean, they only had 5 of the top 30 on pipeline. 2 of them are inactive. So Luis Perales is currently the number 1 Greenville prospect, ranked 9th overall. He's only thrown 9 innings, or only thrown 5 innings this year with a 9 ERA. Down to the Marauders, we'll get to face Clearwater Threshers, the Phillies organization. And they have Aiden Miller, their first round prep pick last year, who cracked the pipeline top 100, but none of the others currently. But their roster also is mostly, let's see, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, half of them are inactive. Unfortunately, one of them is George Clausen, who I believe could still come off near the weekend, but yeah, he's currently on the development list, so they might not get to see him this time, which is probably good for the Bats.
It's good for that. He embarrassed a lot of the hitters there at the opening weekend. I feel like everyone that they're playing is the same team that they played like opening weekend.
Yeah,
That's but. Yeah. I mean, that's some good names on like as far as like my personal favorite prospects and all that. I loved Aiden Miller coming out of the draft. I was a big Killer Watson guy. Chase Delauder on there, so that should be a fun week.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same pizzazz as some of the previous weeks have had, where like each affiliate was facing a top 100 guy. But hopefully, maybe it's the week that all the organizations can get back on track.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Aside from just
maybe they need that easy week. Yeah. Greensboro's doing fine. All right, well, good stuff. And as always, you can check that out every Tuesday morning as part of our morning rundown, 6 a.m., bright and early.
Along with this podcast,
which comes out at 4 in the morning on the site. On the site. But I think any NOLA knowledge, anything like that? Any last word before we
drink lots of water. I don't think I drank enough this weekend, and my voice is destroyed. And
you can hear it. Yep.
Yeah, I'm hurting.
Yeah. And if you're not listening or not watching on YouTube, why don't you go in and give them your socials and whatnot and all that.
At Nola Jeffy, NOLAJEFFY.
Yeah. Give Nola a follow. There's a little discussion on people in NS9's Discord about like people that they like to follow and listen to and stuff like that. And I had to throw it out there that I think Nola's very underrated in the Twitter game. He likes to troll people. I think that might have something to do with it. But like
I've been tame for a while lately, though.
Yeah. He does a good job keeping me straight when it comes to prospect stuff. I had a mini freak out about trading a minor league reliever for Joey Bart. And he kind of like, no, dude, look at the stuff again. This might be something good, and it's turned out pretty good so far. So
I was just saying, I'm surprised. I was about to say I thought I was near 350. I'm 10 away from 400.
Let's go. Let's get Nola to 400 followers, and then more.
Yeah.
And then more. But You can follow me on Twitter at @double_Murphy88. Bucks on Deck Substack. We got 3 articles that come out daily, unless it's an off day. 6 a.m. morning rundown. We kind of recap the day that was before. We have a daily feature that comes out at 10 o'clock. And then depending on what time the Pirates play, we have a game day thread where you can kind of come join, talk about the game, talk about whatever with other Pirates fans. And I think that was something that a lot of readers definitely wanted us to continue. I know I don't talk about it much, but I tried to when we started this thing to do as much of our own thing as far as try to piggyback off of other stuff. But this is something that I was definitely happy that we kept doing. I love the response we get, and there's quite a bit of people that come and talk during the game. So if you need somewhere to talk,
like building Pirates community.
Yeah, I love seeing that stuff. I don't approach this as much as a fan anymore as I used to. But I love seeing the response that we get when it comes to like the game day stuff. If you have the means, if you have the ability to, you help the site, become a paid member, subscribe to the site. I do video breakdowns, at least one a week during the season. I did 2 last week. I did one on Hunter Barco, one on Lonnie White Jr. Video breakdowns. I'm going to be making a trip to Bradenton soon. Also to Greensboro. Any kind of content or anything like that I get while I'm down there will be for the paid members. So and then also too, we updated our top 25 prospect list. So didn't realize I still had Jackson Wolf on it, so we had to fix that. And then Quinn Priester graduated as well. So lots of stuff. So I feel like it's worth your time on that. And yeah, Bucks on Deck.
Till next week.
Till next week. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.